What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I want to share with you what's on my desk. Now, as most of you already know, I'm a full stack freelance web developer. For the past 7 years or so, I've been working from home. And over that time, I've experimented or refined my desk setup. I started off with just a laptop, and then I decided to upgrade to a dual monitor setup, then a triple monitor setup with my custom built PC. And recently I just purchased this Dell ultra wide 49-inch monitor. It's a curved monitor that gives you a significant amount of screen real estate, but I still use my 27-inch Dell monitor as a secondary monitor so I can look at code in portrait mode. Alright, so now let's talk about everything I have on my desk. Alright, so first let's actually talk about the desk itself. The desk that I have is a 55-inch Becant desk from IKEA. I wanted to make sure that I had a wide desk so that way I can fit all of my monitors. What I like about the desk is that it's a minimalist desk. It has wire management on the bottom and it gives me a lot of space. And now let's talk about the Dell ultra-wide 49-inch monitor that I just got. Now, back in the day I used to have a triple monitor setup and that was great. It gave me the opportunity to have my IDE or text editor on one screen, the documentation pages of the coding language I'm working with on another, and then the actual website that I'm coding on another monitor. But one thing I didn't really like, especially once I started doing YouTube videos, is having the bezel in the middle and trying to get the monitors perfectly aligned. So once I saw that Dell had a 49-inch curved monitor that has some software that enables you to either have one monitor or a dual monitor on the same one, or a triple monitor or even more on just one display, I had to get it. But being a coder, I still wanted to have my portrait mode monitor, so I'm still using my 27-inch Dell monitor as well. Now, these monitors are great, especially when you're working on videos and when you're working on code. When you're using a program like Adobe Premiere Pro, or if you're using Camtasia, you have that huge timeline that you really get to work with and minimize the amount of time you have to spend scrolling and scrubbing through the actual timeline itself. On top of that, when I'm coding, I still get to have as many virtual monitors as I want. I could have just one super long monitor, I could set it up as a dual monitor, or I could set it up as a triple monitor setup. The software that comes with the monitor itself gives you the opportunity to really customize it. Now let's talk about the keyboard that I use. For this, I'm using the Microsoft Sculpt Ergonomic Desktop Keyboard. It's a wireless keyboard that has an advanced ergonomic design. It has a split keyboard layout that keeps your wrists and your forearms in a relaxed position. And the domed keyboard shape works to reduce and correct wrist pronation that can cause pain and limited mobility. When you're spending as much time as I do coding, having an ergonomic keyboard is going to be key. Now, obviously having a good mouse is very important as well. So a few years back, I picked up the Logitech MX Master mouse. And this mouse is amazing. It has a unique thumb wheel for horizontal navigation and advanced gestures. You can connect to multiple computers with just one mouse itself. And you can easily switch between computers with just a touch of a button. Now, the battery life on this mouse is awesome. You charge it via USB and it can last about 40 days on a single charge. And another tool that I love using is the Kensington Expert Mouse Trackball. It's a wireless trackball and I use it on my left hand side. It has a large scroll ring and a large trackball itself. It makes it easy for you to navigate your monitor and it's very accurate. What I like about this is that it has an ambidextrous design. It works equally well for both right-handed and left-handed users. And again, I can spend maybe 10 hours, 12 hours in front of my computer on a given day. So I want to make sure that I'm not overusing my right hand. So that's why I use the Kensington trackball on my left side, so that way I can alternate. But I decided not to stop there. I also purchased a Logitech Touchpad. Now, having a good touchpad on a Windows machine, especially a desktop, is not customary. But over the years, I picked up a bunch of items I thought would be beneficial to my workflow. So this is when I got the Logitech Touchpad T650. It's a multi-touch gestures touchpad for Windows PCs. Now again, I use this on my left side so that way it's easier for me to alternate between my right hand and left hand. My goal is to prevent overuse syndrome, and this touchpad is very smooth. Now, when I'm making my screencasting tutorials on how to code, I like to use the Blue Yeti microphone. It's considered the world's #1 USB microphone, and it hasn't failed me yet. It has a bunch of pattern modes like the cardioid mode, the stereo mode, omnidirectional mode, bidirectional mode. The sound that comes out of it is very crisp and sharp. And for the money, I still think it's the best microphone you can get. Now, over the past couple of years, I've been creating videos here on YouTube. And one thing I learned is that sound matters. That's why having a good USB microphone is important to have. But beyond that, you also want to have a good headset. And a few months back, I decided to pick up the Alienware wireless gaming headset. Now, I got this headset because I wanted to experiment with the built-in microphone to see if I could use that instead of using the Yeti Blue mic. Now, the microphone is good, but still not great for screencasting itself. But the design of the headphones and the way it cups your ears and the sound that comes out of it is extremely crisp. And when you're fine-tuning the audio of your videos, you want to make sure that the sound is accurate. So these wireless headphones have definitely been helpful in terms of editing my audio on my videos. Now, sometimes I like to listen to music while I'm coding. And while using the Alienware headphones are great, sometimes I want something a little bit lighter. So that's why I picked up the Bose SoundSport free wireless headphones. These headphones are amazing. There's no wires. They have great battery life. They utilize an app in order to connect to my cell phone. And if I'm at the house or if I'm going for a jog, these headphones are what I use. Now, if I don't feel like using headphones, obviously you need to have some type of speaker system. So I have an older Jawbone Jambox Bluetooth speaker system. I have it hardwired into my computer, and the sound is on point. But what about my actual computer itself, where I get code done, where I edit my videos, my custom built desktop computer? Now, this computer I built a couple of years back, and I tried to spec it out as best as I could. I have 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. I have an overclocked hexa-core i7 processor. I'm using a 980 Ti graphics card on an Asus Deluxe 2 motherboard. And that's what I use when I'm home. But when I'm on the go, when I'm out on the field, that's when I use my 15-inch Alienware gaming laptop. It's a laptop, but it has desktop performance. Now, one thing I try to tell people all the time is that you want to make sure that you have a good power supply, an uninterruptible power supply, especially when you're using a desktop computer. The reason is, if you have a power outage, if you have a brownout, and you're using a desktop, you're pretty much done. But with an uninterruptible power supply, you'll give yourself about 10 minutes or even more in order to properly shut down your program and save your projects. Now, if you're using a laptop, you really don't have to worry about that so much because of the internal battery. But on a desktop, a UPS or uninterruptible power supply is a must. And besides giving you a little bit of backup power, it cleans the power coming into your system. And now another thing that you really need is a good chair, especially if you're going to be sitting down for hours on end. So that's why I have a swivel chair that reclines and has an ergonomic design so that way it protects my back. Now, a couple of items that I have on my desk that I believe is essential are my egg weights. Now, what is this? Now, being a coder and working on a desk for hours and hours and hours every single day, that's not really healthy for you. Now, I like to have a set of dumbbells nearby, but sometimes I like to stretch out my shoulders, I like to do a little bit of shadow boxing, and these egg weights are awesome for that. Now, I have 3 sets of these. These things right here, they're made out of a dense metal, and they're designed to be gripped right within your hands. And I use these for shadow boxing. That's what this is for. This is to get a nice little warm up or a little workout for your shoulders. You get a good cardiovascular workout with this. And it's something that I find very important as a coder. As someone who sits at a desk all day, you gotta stay active. And these egg weights are awesome for that. Now that's a knockout punch. Then I have a couple of other accessories like my hand grip strengtheners and my Rubik's Cube, my motivational stone. And I also have a couple of backup drives as well. It's always good to have a good backup solution for your computer. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this desk setup tour. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that notification icon. And I will see you in the next video. Happy coding!